Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and
Joel. Okay, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jewelry Joel.
Hey guys, what's up? Jewelry Joel.
Yeah. Joel, you got some pearl necklaces?
How did you know?
All right, so today we are here to talk about Pearl from 2022, this year.
Yep.
The prequel to X. from earlier this year. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Joel, who is in it?
All right, so this one stars Mia Goth. She was in Suspiria. I think it was a remake of Suspiria. A Cure for Wellness. She was in Everest, and most recently, she was in X.
Oh yeah.
It has two characters in that movie, one of which is Pearl in
Mm-hmm.
this movie. So. Also, David Corn Sweat. His in the movie, his name is the Projectionist. I didn't realize that they actually didn't even give him a name in this movie.
Oh yeah, I guess they didn't.
He was in 17 episodes of a show called Mo and Jerry Weather.
Okay.
7 episodes of Hollywood, which was a Netflix show a couple years ago. And 11 episodes of The Politician. So he did a lot of TV.
All right.
Not a whole lot of like movies and stuff, and then we've got Tandy Wright. She plays Ruth, who is Pearl's mother.
Okay.
And she was in Jack the Giant Slayer.
Oh.
Love and Monsters, and a show called Crash Palace that she was in 61 episodes of.
Oh wow. All right.
And this was written by Mia Goth, who this is the only thing that she's written. Not sure how much of it she's being credited for. And also Ty West. So they wrote it together. And he wrote House of the Devil, In a Valley of Violence, and The Sacrament. And this was directed by Ty West. And it's the same as written. Same stuff he's written.
Yeah.
So House of the Devil, In the Valley of Violence, and The Sacrament.
Okay. Cool. All right, so the description, backstory on how Pearl became the person she was.
If you didn't know this was a prequel to X, people were like, what is this description of person she was? What? I saw that earlier. I was like, this is a horrible description.
So here's a little bit more. Trapped on her family's trapped on her family's isolated farm, Pearl must tend to her ailing father under the bitter and overbearing watch of her devout mother. Lusting for a glamorous life, like she's seen in the movies, Pearl finds her ambitions, temptations, and repressions all colliding in this origin story of X's iconic villain. Okay. So, a little more info there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
At least they mentioned X in that one.
So yeah, this first of all, right off the bat, I think it's really, really crazy that we have a horror movie, and a prequel to a horror movie in the same year, written and directed by the same person, with the same lead actress in both.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like,
we even got a little tiny bit of Maxine at the end of this movie too.
Yeah.
So there's a trilogy that's Ty West was very secret about
Yeah.
for years, because I think this movie, they filmed like in the midst of the pandemic, which is why there wasn't really that many people in the movie.
Yeah.
I think. And so, yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of years since they were making this movie. And the fact that they were able to do this movie, X, and also have this other third movie in this trilogy a secret from everybody was just crazy.
Yeah. And lots of, I'm liking A24 more and more. The more movies they put out, I'm liking them more. And just so much respect for that production company to do this, because they filmed and produced both X and Pearl without knowing anything of the success of either of the movies.
Yeah.
So usually that does not happen, especially for like starting a, series. If it's already an established series, like, okay, like with Halloween, that's already been established, make Halloween Kills and Ends. We know that, we're in for both of those. But for something that has not even existed yet, to be in for 2 movies at least, and to film and produce both of them before any theater exposure, that's crazy. That never happens.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So much respect for them to be able to jump on board, for Ty West to, take this on and realize a vision that, that he had for this. It's crazy. It doesn't happen.
No. Yeah. It's, I mean, they did similar to the Matrix sequels and a couple of the Pirates sequels, but the first of those were already like well-known, well-established movies that they didn't really need. They already knew they were going to make money off of those.
Yeah,
It's so, like you were saying, X, like nobody knew anything about this movie or Pearl, so it's like, these characters that don't have any exposure previously, you're just putting all of your eggs in this basket, hoping it's gonna work. And it's crazy that they did that twice. Back to back.
Yeah, I know X was eventually successful when it did come out. I don't know like the budget and the like, profits or whatever, but it definitely made a good amount of money. It didn't take a lot to make. It was a relatively lower budget movie. So, the success of that was there, but they didn't know that was going to happen. I think X outperformed what they thought. So then they're like, cool, we already have this prequel. Let's put it out the same year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. 6 months.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the box office for X, and it grossed worldwide $14 million. I don't know what the opening weekend US and Canada was. $4 million. Which is not it's not a lot, but it's opening weekend. So I don't know how much they put into it, but they made pretty much $14.5 million off of that one. So, and I mean, it didn't take a whole lot to make that one. And it probably took even less to make this one. It was a smaller cast in this movie.
Yeah.
So, and this one, I mean, this just came out recently, but it's grossed $7 million worldwide.
Yeah.
So about half, but I mean, it's also been out, X has been out for 6 months at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been out on Blu-ray and streaming and everything. So.
Yeah.
Take into account those types of sales too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just unheard of pretty cool, especially for horror and for like not like a big horror. Like this is low budget and grounded horror. This isn't like this big production like blockbuster type of stuff. So it's, I don't know, so much respect. Whether you like it or not, it's cool that it happened. And if you're a horror fan, I feel like you have to respect it because it's never happened before that I know of.
It really hasn't. We'll probably get the third one like next year sometime.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
And then we'll get an introduction to another movie in this universe.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, based on how it ended, they could do a sequel to Pearl.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. So let's actually talk about the movie now. So we've got Pearl, who is the old lady from X. This is like her early 20s, late teens, early 20s version of herself in 1918. And so she is married, but her husband is at war. I'm thinking it was World War One that he was in. World War One. And she is at her farm with her mom and her barely alive dad, who can't talk, can't move, can't feed himself, nothing. So, and it's on the same farm that X takes place on. So that was pretty cool to see that.
Got to see that alligator again too.
Yeah, the alligator. Yeah, alligators live a long time, so it makes sense that this alligator would still be alive.
Yeah.
Something right off the bat that I noticed with this movie, and it kind of gives you that impression in the trailer and stuff, but it's very much filmed like a movie would have been filmed in like the 50s or something.
Yeah, or like the 30s even.
Yeah,
going way back. There was a moment where I was getting like Wizard of Oz vibes from this movie.
Yeah,
And I've heard people got like, I think, Gone with the Wind vibes from it.
Yep.
It's been decades since I've seen that movie, so I didn't really. I can see where the Gone with the Wind vibes are coming from.
Yeah.
But in like maybe Casablanca or something like that. Yeah. Just like the old classic movies of the day, which I absolutely loved the filming of this movie.
Yeah, me too.
Probably more than X.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, X did, it was, the filming was, for both these movies, right for the decade that they're making the movies for.
Yep.
So the filming was on point for X as well, with like the 70s grainy look to it. I just love the like whimsical, fantastical like filming of this movie. The music was probably some of the best parts of this movie. Yeah. The music itself felt like another character.
Yeah.
To me. It was so good.
Yeah. It's definitely the Wizard of Oz vibes with the scarecrow. There's actually a scarecrow in the movie. Which is an interesting
X-rated
scene.
Wizard of Oz.
But yeah, the colors, the music, even the acting is very reminiscent of those old classic movies.
Mia Goth was just amazing in this movie. She's definitely going to make it in Hollywood for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Based on that monologue at the end alone, like if Hollywood wasn't afraid to nominate horror movies, she would definitely at least get a nomination for this movie.
Yeah. I
mean,
so.
They nominated Joker, it's the same type of like a character study type of thing. Right. This one was. There's really not a whole lot of difference between the two.
Yeah,
it's just
not
this
really.
One's labeled a horror movie is the only thing, and that one was set in like the superhero world, so that's different.
Yeah.
But it's like it's technicality, like it's the same movie, just with her as the Joker instead. Like it's just
yeah.
So
I could see your argument there for sure.
I hope he gets nominated.
I hope she does too. I thought it was amazing. But even like, you know, set aside the monologue and all that stuff, but even just right off the bat, like the way she's kind of like her body language, the way she delivers the lines, her accent, all that kind of stuff is like, it feels like a wholesome, like movie, like The Sound of Music or things like that. That's how it feels. But what is so unsettling about that is, you know, who this character is. Yeah. So it's really unsettling to have all this like happy music and just these happy vibes when you know, okay, this is a horror movie and this person is probably going to kill some people in this movie. So it's a really weird vibe that it kind of brings to the table. She does kill something like right away.
Yeah,
goose.
Or duck. I think it's duck.
Yeah.
Duck, goose.
I was surprised because you
kind of messed up.
Yeah,
like,
that was
you just chilling in the barn, like
just hanging out,
up? And then gets a pitchfork and just
and she feeds the alligator, the goose, the duck, whatever.
The duck.
Oh
man, that's not a meal for an alligator. It's a snack.
But I was surprised because I thought, you know, you see that in the trailer and I'm thinking, okay, that's going to be like later in the movie, but it's like right away. But it's not like she's going crazy though. When she does it, it's just like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna kill this and give it to the alligator. Like, it's just daily routine. Like, it's not even. It's not. So then you're like,
you gotta feed the alligator something. You got a pet alligator there. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was like, okay, all right, that's something. That's interesting. But yeah, so you know, you learn about how she has this family that she's trying to, you know, live in with her dad who is barely alive. Her mother expects all these things of her. She's an adult. She wants to be out on her own. She's waiting for her husband to come back from the war. And she's almost like childlike. Because she has these like these dreams, right, to be this like famous person and stuff, but it's almost like she's kind of naive and childlike in her like mental state. The way she
I mean, she probably is. The way she's being treated by her mom, like she's, you know, she can't go anywhere unless she breaks the house rules and escapes. Like, it's just she's basically kept there as a prisoner. Yeah. To take care of her dad and to do the yard, like the farming and everything like that. So she's away from everybody. Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised it starts with her already being married. Like,
I was surprised by that too.
I thought you were like 16. Like,
I
guess she kind of has that mentality of being a teenager. Yeah. But I mean, even if she was 16, in 1918, I think it was legal to be married at 16. So it was just her character. She was just, I loved it. Honestly,
there's just no words.
There's no words. There's several people who are like, "Oh, this movie's so slow. I didn't like it." And it's like, no, I didn't find one bit of this movie slow. Yeah, there may have been moments, I guess, here and there, but like it flowed pretty well for me. It wasn't your typical horror movie. It's not a slasher like X was. It's a totally different vibe. Totally different. It's a different vibe but also having the same sort of atmosphere that X did. It was just an eerie, uncomfortable feel for a good portion of the movie because you know who she's going to turn into. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen.
Yeah. And even like I watched X, I bought it recently and watched it the day before I went and saw Pearl. And even X, you don't see... I mean, there's that first scene where you kind of see the aftermath of all the killings, but there isn't a kill until pretty far into the movie.
Yeah, no, there's
so I wouldn't say
a porno until
I wouldn't say X was any sort of like fast-paced movie. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know why someone would think Pearl would be some fast-paced, action-packed movie. I mean, X wasn't, so
no,
not until like later in the movie, and even then, it was. I still wouldn't say it was like action-packed. It was a slower movie for a slasher.
Yeah. There were some kills, but like even some of the kills were basically off screen. Like you didn't see all of. I don't know. I think there were more gruesome kills in Pearl than there was in X.
Yeah,
they actually showed some pretty intense stuff in this movie.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, I mean, she hears about this like dance competition from
the church from her
was her cousin, sister-in-law. Yeah. So she's like, wanting to do that. Of course, her mom doesn't want her to. And she has to like sneak out to get her dad's medicine, which was liquid morphine that he drinks. I thought that was interesting. Like, okay.
It was a different time.
Yeah, you can just buy liquid morphine at the store and you just have a little teaspoon of morphine, Dad.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Wow. All right. So she's like, has to, when she goes and gets the morphine on her little bicycle, which I thought looked funny when she's riding this bicycle all happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, that's when there was a scene when I think she's going to the audition. She's got this red dress on. Yeah. And she's riding her bicycle. That's when I got the Wizard of Oz vibe to it. I was saying to myself, dun 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 dun. It felt so Wizard of Oz to me at that point. But there was also like a massacre that had happened there right before that moment too. So it's like, okay, well that kind of because a couple people get murdered before her before she goes to her audition. Just casually just going to audition after
after murdering some people.
After what happens back at the farm.
But she definitely put off those like Dorothy vibes with like her outfits and the way she looked and presented herself. It was very Dorothy feel. Yeah. Had a like Sound of Music and all that. And so she goes and watches some movies. And she's like obsessed with being in the movies. That's what she wants to do. And her mom doesn't want her to go to this audition. She's getting tired of having to stay home and take care of her dad. And they get in a big argument. And then she kills her mom, throws her in the basement.
Accidentally.
Accidentally, yes.
I mean, they're getting in a fight, and the mom gets a little too close to the fireplace. Yeah. And, is set on fire. Yeah. She doesn't really do much to try to put it out.
Yeah, she's not trying to save her or anything, but
no, but like she didn't like intentionally push her in the fire or something. Yeah, but just like she's just like, oh, I guess this is happening now. All right.
Yeah, well. It seemed like she was like, oh no, at first when she did catch on fire, but then she kind of seemed like, oh, this isn't too bad actually. Yeah. I think I'll just let this happen.
Yeah. I feel so sorry for the dad because
I know,
there was a moment before
poor guy.
This where she's just like rolling him out to where the alligator is.
Yeah.
Like she's going to push him in.
Yeah.
And
like,
then
man.
The mom saves him. And then at that scene where the mom gets set on fire, like she's basically blaming the dad for like this rift between the two, saying that or if it hadn't been for you, I could have been something something myself and everything like that, and like holds a knife to his throat. I think.
Yeah.
It's like what are you? Both of you were crazy. What you... Feel so sorry for the dad. I was like, wow,
I know.
Okay.
I think he even has like a tear at one point, like come down his face. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sad.
And then being forced to like watch his daughter bathe, like gets rolled into the bathroom while she's naked in the tub. What are you doing?
Well, she didn't want to waste the water. Isn't that what she says? I think that's what she says, because she's like bathing him, and so
she's
then
in the bathtub, I think she. Well, she's like, what is she doing? Like stroking his face, and when she gets out of the tub, it's a weird scene.
yeah.
I was like, what are you gonna do? I'm just like feeling a little uncomfortable right now. But that's the beauty of this movie.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
So, and then she's like kind of interested in this dude, the projectionist, and she
didn't bother giving him a name. The projectionist.
That seems like it would be like a extra, like cop 1, cop 2, like. But he's actually a pretty important character, so
he's in the movie a little bit.
Yeah. And so she's like kind of obsessed with this guy, and she wants him to basically, live for her after they spent one night together. And he,
a little clingy.
Yeah, he isn't like kind of vibing with that, especially when he goes over to her farm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like saying that she's a little crazy, and that was not a good thing for him to show, because then she just kills him.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was a pretty good kill.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. With the pitchfork through the
mouth.
Yeah. That was
the finishing blow right there through the mouth.
Yeah. That was crazy. And he's like in his like car when she does it, and doesn't she like drive him off into the water?
Alligator.
Yeah.
Yep. Drives it into the water, and then you see the alligator just swimming by.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bigger meal than the goose, so that's good. With a duck.
And then she goes to her little audition. Yeah. And this is where, once she kills the projectionist, then the movie really takes off to me, because now we know she has this history now of murder.
Yeah.
And then she seems even more crazy, because she goes to this audition, and just the whole time, even waiting for her turn, like, I don't know, something's different about her. She just is creepier. And the things that she's saying and stuff, and her sister-in-law is there, and she's kind of like, oh, I hope we do well, and, I wish you the best, and, she's kind of more innocent about it all, but Pearl is very serious.
Yeah, it has to be me.
Yeah.
Like,
very serious. Yeah. So, and then the whole audition scene is pretty good too.
I love that scene because you can be on it from their perspective. It's just like you're just moving around. You're not really like it's not good dancing, but to her, she's got a whole scene in her head. That you can see through the dancing. Like she watches too many movies and is just like living this dance scene that she's seen from one of the movies. And you can see that in the way that she's moving, and I loved it. I love that. I love that scene. Yeah, I knew she wasn't going to be picked because it's not great dancing when you're looking at it from an outside perspective. Yeah. But and then her breakdown after that was she's just incredible in this movie.
Yeah, very emotional she gets, and it's just, now she's just unhinged after she didn't win. And then we get to later on. Oh yeah, and then there's this pig. They keep showing this pig that oh my gosh, this decaying pig. Oh my gosh, with all the maggots and stuff. Oh man. Yeah, it was like every 15 minutes I felt like they were showing this pig. But then we eventually get back to the farm, and this is the best scene of the movie when the sister-in-law comes over and she's talking to her, and Pearl just lets everything out. Yeah. She just lets it all out, and I don't know how long that monologue is. I want to say it's 10 straight minutes.
It's up there. It's at least 8 minutes long.
Yeah,
that monologue, because the camera pans over to the sister-in-law one time, then pans over to her, and it's her the entire rest of the time. Yeah, just giving this incredible monologue that I'm just and she's crying while she's saying it. There's a couple of scenes. It is hard to cry on demand. Right. And when you're just talking normally and cry and making yourself cry, and there's a scene where she's smiling and tears are running down her face. Yeah. Joker vibes. As far as the acting goes and everything. It's so, I don't know. It was just incredible. Her acting ability. Which is why it's weird coming from someone who we've seen here and there in movies, but this is basically her breakout performance. This is the movie that's going to make her big. Yeah. Even though I feel like X is a bigger movie. Yeah. So it has more. It's not going to get pushed under the rug. Yeah. Yeah. I think X has incredible in this movie. Yeah, X has more mass appeal because it's a slasher. Yeah. But this one is definitely that more A24 style movie where it's more of that artsy, cinematography, some of the more character driven storytelling and stuff. Which I think will get more critic attention. Yeah, sure. It definitely could. I'm hoping it does. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this scene is amazing. She basically talks about how much she hates her life, and she doesn't know if her husband's coming back, and she's kind of counting him out from coming back. Actually, it sounded like. And so after all of that, I thought maybe the sister-in-law wasn't even going to be there anymore. Because we hadn't even seen her in a while. Yeah. And I'm like, is she just talking to herself? Or is she actually still sitting there? And she's still there. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go. Comfortable. And so Pearl finds out that she won. She got picked. The sister-in-law. And this part, I think this part was probably my favorite part. Where the sister-in-law is just trying to leave, and and then Pearl comes out with the axe. Does she have an axe? Oh, spoilers, by the way. Yeah. True. Yeah. She comes out with an axe. Yeah, and she's just behind her. Just kind of not in a rush to catch up to her or anything, but just the way it's framed is it's just, this impending doom. You just know she's going to get to her and she's going to chop her up. Yeah. And it's oh man, poor girl. She seemed like such a nice, nice person. Yeah. She's probably the nicest character in this entire movie. Yeah. Projectionist was he wasn't a bad person, but yeah, there was on IMDb. There's 6 people in this entire movie. Oh wow! Okay. Yeah, and we kill most of them. Yeah. So then she's she really chops her up. She's
like limb by limb.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then then she's like, what does she do? Doesn't she like feed? She has like body parts in the kitchen and stuff. I can't remember, or at the dinner table.
It's this Texas Chainsaw Massacre dinner scene, looking thing, where she rolls her dead dad into the kitchen, along with her fried mom, at the dinner table, and her husband walks in from the war, and sees.
It's the pig. She has the pig on the dinner table.
Yeah, it's the maggot-ridden pig. It felt so Texas Chainsaw Massacre in that moment. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the husband walks in and sees this, looks horrified, and then turns and sees Pearl, and she's like, "Oh, hi!" Like all happy, and then the credits roll, and it's so like, it's so disturbing, but so good at the same time.
So awesome. Yeah.
I love it. Credits are rolling, but you still just like see her face, and she's smiling the entire time. It's like a 2-minute long holding her smile there in place.
Yeah.
After a while, tears are running down her face. I'm like, oh man, this is amazing.
Yeah. Really impressive.
Perfect way of ending this movie.
Yeah. And it's not like a smile, like a happy smile. It's like a forced. It's like a forced happy smile. So you can tell.
You try smiling for 2 minutes straight. After a while, it's going to be forced.
But even right away, it's like this. I'm psychotic. Smile. Like I am. There is a lot going on in my head right now, and I'm gonna smile and pretend like I'm okay. And she holds it for so long, and like I'm watching because I had heard that there was gonna be a little Maxine little snippet kind of deal after the credits, so I'm watching, and you're just like staring at her face for however long, and I just started laughing because I was just like, this is ridiculous. This is like, what the hell? Because she's like, she's even kind of moving. Like you can tell it's not like a frozen picture.
It's not a freeze frame.
It's and she's like moving her lips, kind of like trying to keep the smile going. And I just started laughing because I'm like, this is what the hell? I've never seen something like this. This is funny.
It was pretty disturbing. Just
like
seeing her face like that.
It's a disturbing, like uncomfortable laugh that I I had to let it out.
But like also some amazing acting too, because not only is she doing that, but she's crying too at the same time. It's like
it's wild.
Oh man, this is so good.
Someone better check on Mia Goth. She might.
Oh yeah, I know.
She might have some issues.
I mean, she was part writer of this movie, so she's in this character. So much. Like she loves this character. She's, I think, a producer of this one too. So it's she's all over this movie.
Right.
And so the ending of this movie. This is why I feel like there's more story to tell.
Okay.
Because Howard, the husband, is the same person that we see in X, who's also a killer.
Yeah.
So how did we get from him coming back from the war, seeing this like horrified, display in front of him, and then him just becoming a killer? Like I'd be like, okay, I'm out. See ya. This has been good, but I can see both of them in like a sequel to Pearl, kind of like maybe seeing his transformation.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got some PTSD from the war, and maybe that's what, kicks into, and then they just like maybe go on a rampage together. Like
I felt like his character was he was more so like trying to protect Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of trying to protect her, but also be supportive of Pearl.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would have killed the people in X if it wasn't for Pearl starting it. I felt like after she killed the dude with the glasses, then he's like, okay, great. Now I'm in it.
We have to
like,
kill them all.
okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was more of him trying to like support her, not necessarily that he's a killer himself. But he does do some killing.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, if he's not in on if he's not, if he's not wanting to kill, then I feel like, especially after his sister goes missing,
yeah,
and then you come home to this scene, like you're gonna put 2 and 2 together and be like, you murdered my sister, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he wouldn't be okay with that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely more story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind a sequel to Pearl.
Yeah.
Keep it coming, Ty. Like, let's get this universe. Let's get this X universe going.
Yeah.
Like, we're already getting a sequel to X, and then maybe a sequel to Pearl. Like, maybe
just go back and forth,
connect,
back and forth,
hit every decade.
Yeah, it was
we hit the teens in this one. Hit the 70s, so we're gonna hit the 80s and Maxine.
Yeah. Maxine is so Maxine is the character, Mia Goth's character that survived in X.
Mm-hmm.
The young Mia Goth character.
Yeah.
Her name's Maxine. And so the next film is going to be about her in the 80s. She kind of has the
industry.
Yeah.
With
probably.
The X and the Maxine.
Yeah.
They didn't do the triple X Maxine for nothing. It's gonna be porn.
Yeah. So she has like kind of the same drive as Pearl. So she's a very similar character to Pearl in this one. So it's really cool the way that they're doing this.
Yeah.
And to have a movie and then the next movie in the series to be a prequel already, I don't feel like that's happened either. Like, I feel like a prequel is when you're running out of ideas and you want to do a prequel because you've already done enough sequels. So, it's pretty rare to get a movie and then a prequel is the next thing.
Second movie is a prequel already.
Yeah. And then your third movie is the sequel. Like
the
that's
sequel to the first movie.
Yeah.
And then your fourth is going to be a sequel to the prequel.
If they do that would be pretty funny.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Keep it going, Ty.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just make these movies.
You really could do it because Pearl and X are so different that you can have like a Pearl story and a Maxine story. Mm-hmm. Because Pearl is dead in X.
Yeah.
Pearl died in X. So
her story ends with
So you can have a Pearl story and a Maxine story, but they're in the same universe, but just different stories. Yeah. So it's possible.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild stuff.
Yeah, keep bringing Mia Goth back and just focus on this. Although I feel like, once she gets the attention she deserves from this movie, she's probably going to be pulled in different directions other than horror.
Yeah.
So I hope she still sticks with horror. She can do whatever she wants to do, like dramas. She'd be a great dramatic actress. But stay with horror too. Yeah. Keep making horror because she's good at it. She's done a couple of these movies, so.
Yeah. Okay, let's grade it.
All right. I think we pretty much talked. Yeah, we went through like every scene in this movie, so. For the most part. I loved it. I absolutely love this movie. Everything from the filmmaking to the music, to the score, to the incredible acting, to the kill scenes also. Yeah. Everything is just like perfect in this movie. I'm I'm giving this one a 95. This is up there.
All right. Wow.
With some of my favorites.
Wow.
This will be in my top 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think this
will be a high up in my top 10.
Pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go 90.
90.
Okay. Yeah, it's really, really good. For everything that you said. The only reason why I wouldn't put it higher is because it's not something I'm gonna watch too often. Most likely.
I feel like X has more of a rewatchability to it than Pearl does. Not saying this is like a one-time watch by any means. But as far as movies that are enjoyable, like I enjoy slashers more than like character studies, but I will watch them more, but I actually enjoy character studies more because I love the acting in them more than just like a body count. That slashers give. And like I absolutely loved Joker, but honestly I've probably seen it one time since theaters.
Yeah, same.
And it's just like it's incredible, but it's because of how disturbing and just very dark it is. That takes away from the enjoyability. It's the same way with Pearl.
Yeah.
It's not a movie that I'm going to rewatch over and over again, but it's definitely not a one-time watch either. So
right. Yeah. So I mean, those are good scores, 95 and 90. I don't usually go in the 90s, so it was amazing. I can't say enough good things about it.
Well, you limited your 90s.
I know.
You put Halloween as 95.
Yeah, I really screwed myself.
Your favorite horror movie.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That's
our early days. So
that's really the reason why I don't go in the 90s very often.
Yeah,
because if I do, I'm getting a little too close
to like your favorite movie of all time territory.
Yeah.
But it's up there for me. So.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that was our review on Pearl from 2022. Make sure you go find us on all the social medias, the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And
YouTube.
Go subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. Please subscribe on that platform. Send us a like, a comment, send us a message, whatever you want to do, and we appreciate it. All right. Well, that is it. This has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the projectionist bite.